Ramblin man here. Okay, so there's a lot of really bad things happening right now. If you want to look through all of the media and just everything going on, you hear about all the stuff in Afghanistan, the 13 service members that died. You have wildfires up on the west coast. There's eating up like Lake Tahoe area. I mean, just tons of bad things. If you want to find news, and it's funny because we as humans, we want to hear a good story, but we want to hear more than that, a bad story. When I say bad, something that's terrible because it's like a train wreck. You just can't stop watching, right? I don't know what it is that intrigues us so much about that. That's why people watch all this crime TV and things like, oh, I can't believe that happened. It's terrible. I'm going to watch some more. It's just one of those things that you do, you can't get enough of bad things. So that being said, though, I wanted to focus on more of what's going on good. What's going on that's good in the world? School's gotten back into session. And while there's things of, COVID and people not wearing masks and all kinds of different things, also within that, you have kids going back to the classroom instead of being at home on a computer. Because I can tell you, it's detrimental to them to have that interaction with people. It's bad enough that every kid has a phone nowadays, or they're constantly on the internet. But when you have that interaction at school, it makes them say, hi, my name is, what is your name? You have a phone number? I'll call you later. My wife and I witnessed a kid outside this weekend. We're working on the house, and we're out there, and there's a little kid running around, and he picks up a stick and aims it like he's aiming a gun. And we talked about, I remember when I was a kid, that's all we did. We played outside all the time, and we used our imagination. And a lot of kids, not even really fault of their own, but they just lost a lot more of their imagination. Still there, it's just that it's not used. When you run around and you're like, who knows who he's shooting? He's fighting some bad guys, or he might be the bad guy fighting good guy. I don't know. But it's just one of those things you do when you're a kid, right? Pick up a stick, it turns into a weapon, it turns into whatever you want it to be. It can be a sword, it just turns into something that in your eyes you can be a hero, or you can play the villain. You can do whatever you want to do because it's just called playing. And I think our kids have lost a lot of that. Yeah, you may have some like, well, my kids do this and that. Well, that's great, but as a whole, most kids have lost a lot of the playing and everything that goes on. Now, I will tell you, it's funny because I saw another set of kids, and this is great because I've witnessed this finally. I've been waiting to see a lot more of this, kids playing outside, and I hear arguing. And I look down, and they have a swimming pool that's blown up in the front yard, in the driveway. There's just one of those air up ones, and it's full of water. Like, oh yeah, well you said this and that, and they're just griping, right? But these are interactions that kids need. Disagreements, things that they need to learn to do, to interact with, to affect how they do their everyday lives. And then you see one collecting all her things and walking off home. And I remember that being as a kid. You get mad at your friend in the neighborhood. And you're like, you know what? I'm going home. I'm taking my football with me. Just things like that, right? And so it was good this weekend to see kids still being kids. And I think sometimes because my kids have gotten older, we lose track of the fact that, kids still play. They still like to go outside. We just need to have more of that. And if you're a parent and your kid plays outside, good for you. That's amazing. I applaud you, because that is good parenting, to make them go outside, not just stay on their iPads or on their tablets or whatever they're using, but just to get them outside, use their imagination, get some exercise, and just enjoy what childhood they have. Because at some point you have to grow up and take responsibility. And when you have responsibilities, your childhood's over. I mean, you can still have fun and enjoy, if you're on vacation or something like that, but the carefree attitude, no responsibility, no obligations, those are good times that I think many, many people look back and think, I wish I could go back to a time when I didn't have all these responsibilities, all these obligations, because that's a time that it just really mattered. That's when you build character. That's when you build independence and social networking and being able to be socially active as far as talking to people. It just made you do things that put you out of your comfort zone. And nowadays, that's why we have so many like keyboard warriors and things, because people talk all kinds of trash, all kinds of mess, because why? There's no repercussions, because they're on the other end of that. And you didn't say some things when you're out there with your friends because it gets you popped right in the mouth. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's things you're like, you know what? I'm not going to say this to that guy because he's bigger than me and he'll pop me right in the mouth. Or, just anything that you said had repercussions. Nowadays, people say whatever they want to say, even if it's the most idiotic thing they've ever heard. And so as we go through and you see all of these bad things that are going right now on the news, on social media, things like that, just remember there's still a lot of good in this world, things that we're willing to, that are worth fighting for. And as you know, it sucks that we lost 13 service members over there. And despite whose fault it was, we shouldn't be in this situation, but right now we're in it. So we can't go back and change that. We have to move forward and do the right things. And whatever that takes, whatever it takes to keep our service members safe and our civilians safe, and whatever it takes to get our people back home, that needs to happen. But just remember, there are still good things here in the U.S. that are worth fighting for. Our freedom is worth fighting for. So let's just remember that as we go through. We are still the greatest country on earth. We just cannot lose that. It's time to take a stand and be the people that we know we can be, and people that, the kind of people that the rest of the world looks up to and can trust. Let's start building ourselves back up and changing things, make America great again. Ramblin' Man, out.